Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, at least aliveness in this place.
I work with the National Youth Council of Uganda.
I'm here with the Climate Youth Negotiator Programme. So we are like a global program training amongst other also African negotiators. That's why I'm here to support them so that you will hear from them directly.
Founder of the Magic Foundation. Happy to be here.
I will have a lecturer who will be teaching. Then we have you in the audience to also contribute because it's about science. It's about climate science.
We needed to have you also in the negotiation process properly, not being used as tools, as weapon, as mouthpieces for certain constituencies when they have to communicate their viewpoint. And that's why this particular program was then crafted so that we can equip you to the best way possible so that you can have the what to push for, the what to negotiate. Because you cannot negotiate for what you don't know. Or even if you know the end, but the means becomes important to take us there. Or am I speaking to myself when I'm too fast?
No.
I talk like this, no, I don't understand.
We've been in Nairobi since the 28th to the 1st of September, engaging and interacting with 21 young people from the continent on climate negotiations. The whole idea behind this training was how do we integrate young people from here, the continent, into the negotiation process, but then also how do we prepare them as future negotiators.
Based on the current realities, what are the current gaps? So you identify those gaps and you use it to formulate your research questions.
So it all started last year where my country and the Environmental Protection Agency as an institution, as a government institution, selected I and two of us
To start being mentored to learn the climate change environment and climate negotiations.
So this was my engagement mainly in climate diplomacy.
And we're then attached to lead negotiators. I followed Global Goal on Adaptation and Article 6 matters.
Then through that I was also engaged in some negotiation activities representing my country.
تعلمت حاجات كتيرة من ضمنها أول حاجة طبعا في تعريفات كتيرة علمية عن المناخ ما كنتش عارفاها قبل كده. تاني حاجة هي المناقشات مع زملائي في التدريب.
Even as Africa, we keep pushing our agenda, but we are normally guided by what is happening from the member states, so that everybody is on board. Don't go there and be negotiating for us in Africa and you are championing Kenya as what?
We've been supported by the African Group of Negotiators Expert Support Group, that's AGNES, and the Climate Youth Negotiator Programme, who have been our social partner in bringing together these young people. So we truly appreciate them trusting us as AYICC to really implement this project.
Young activists really need to take their position at the table. They need to cultivate the desired skills and proficiencies and competencies to enable them acquire credibility so that when they voice out, then somebody can take a minute, pause and listen to them and give them a voice.
My experience so far is so fantastic. I've been on a series of training, but this is an in-depth training where we have a face-to-face with the facilitators, bringing climate change issues to ground for us to understand from the basics.
Getting this training from someone who is part of that process and has already experienced and has been part of it for a long time is refreshing, and really the learning is way more intense and way more advantageous to us.
Everything they teach you has an example, has something they already related to from the negotiations and from the climate, from the COPs and from the SBs.
Because when you come to talk to me, I want you to come to me and immediately I hear you opening, I see you opening your mouth, I see some sense, I see, you capture my attention.
For the fact that we don't have young people that will, fill in these positions, it's indeed a challenge for the government to actually start building the capacities of, young people to be able to fill in those positions, given the fact that negotiations have started decades from now.
So it's a question of how you construct your messaging in such a manner that the policies makers are able to see that you're not telling them not to do something, but you're telling them actually you can do this thing in a better way that is beneficial to the country, to the people, and the global community.
We are in a climate crisis. We really don't have time to not work together. So we have to harness the potential of young people who want to enter the climate space. Young people are drastically underrepresented in the climate negotiation. That's why it's so important to bring the force of young people into the negotiations in an intergenerational manner. That's why we have to pair the energy and the freshness of young people with the wisdom and the experience of the older negotiators. And then I do believe that together we can solve the climate crisis.
Now that we have been taught and we are learning, the better way to practice is if we are more involved and given opportunities to be part of our country's delegations and also be supported to be at the COPs and SBs and to also get some resources to implement projects back home.
To the young people who are out there, I think it's realizing that policy influence and advocacy can take many forms, including negotiation, right? Negotiation is an interesting way to be part of the table and be able to get involved in the process at the level where it matters most.
An important pillar of this training is understanding the UNFCCC process itself. And then to me, I think that is in fact the most important thing as far as this training is concerned, because we are talking about negotiation. But aside from negotiation, what else is embedded in the UNFCCC process?
We should all try as best as possible to get along, get around people who are engaged with these issues, get in touch with them, even if they are not listening, make sure they are listening, because I know my bosses are willing to listen. They will obviously give an ear to you, they will obviously want to push you, because that's what they did for us. And I will also advise them that no matter what, they should always make their voice heard. Like, make your voices heard everywhere you are.
There is a gap in climate negotiation where there is need for more younger hands to complement what the seniors are currently doing at the level of climate negotiations.
Tap into the power of technology. We are in a digital economy. Everything is becoming technologized.
They need to take up the opportunity for them to be able to demonstrate their skills.
Go out there and be open to learning. There is so much knowledge out there and all you have to do is tap into it.